Good evening, everyone. So today I have somebody very special with me, a person who's generally they say bigger things come in small packets, and this is a packet of energy, quantum of energy in his parlance, if I may call it, uh, which I happened to stumble upon while training him for services selection board, and nobody could imagine at that particular point of time that today when I'm having this conversation with him from he's speaking from IIT Delhi and he's doing his engineering there. So, Bhomik, you've traversed a lot of milestones, you've crossed a lot of paths, you've changed few paths, your motion has been as random of a particle as possible. So, just define your journey from your childhood till today that you've come to IIT Delhi. Now, it's a name revered in so many corners in the world, named again amongst top institutions whenever we talk about. So, how this has been? Tell us something about yourself, your background, your family, and how this journey was.
So myself, Bhomik, I belong to a very small family in the Delhi, and I'm born and brought up in the Delhi itself. I have a small nuclear family that includes my father, my mother, and myself only. So my journey starts. So it was a pretty normal journey till 10th. Average school going students were going in sports and everything, having normal day. In 10th, I got decent marks, so I took science stream as a career option from a few stream option. From that point onwards, till 12th mid, I didn't had anything in my mind. I was just going to the normal tuitions and everything and having a normal lifestyle. But towards the 12th and now when I started to realize, now things are getting serious as everyone is preparing for entrance examinations and everything. So I thought I should also give it a chance. So since JEE mains is a very common exam that almost everyone gives in his 12th. So I was like, you know what, I should give it a shot too. So I gave it that. Then I didn't clear it in my first attempt. So then I was like, engineering and going, office job was never really meant for me. So it's like I wanted to try something that is more physically challenging as well as something that builds thrill in my life on daily basis. So I found out ND examination. That was something that I was hell bent on. I wanted to give it my all. So I gave three attempts in ND examinations. In my first attempt, I was not even able to clear my written examination. Then in the next two attempts, I cleared my written examination. I gave SSB twice and got conference out twice. Then I was pretty devastated. Then after that, I went on preparing for my other examinations. Then I started giving JEE mains, CUT, and all sorts of examinations. I cleared my mains with 97 percentage, 77 percentile. Got a chance to sit in advance. Then I cleared that too. I got 96 in that. Then here I am right now, preparing myself in Delhi. I'm in PG right now.
Bhomik, any common person, or child would have actually thought 10 to 15 times, if not less, if not more, uh, after having कि एक बार दिया नहीं हुआ, दूसरी बार दिया नहीं हुआ, तीसरी बार दिया. So there is a factor of self motivation in you. So what was it? एक तो होती है कि हमारी मजबूरी है कि कुछ ना कुछ तो करना है, और दूसरा एक होता है कि कुछ हमने अपने पैशन के लिए करना है. So what was it that kept driving you कि नहीं मुझे इसी दिशा में ही जाना है.
Sir, so during my SSB attempts and during my entire India examinations, that was the one that I was most hell-bent on. That was something that I wanted to do with my entire heart and soul. I gave it my all. I was not able to clear it. That was the biggest step back in my entire journey, I would say. I invested a lot of time in that. I even took a drop year for that. It didn't work out. I was really taken back. But the thing is, since I'm a single child, I had a lot of responsibilities on me. So I can't really just give up on myself and on my parents. That was the biggest motivating factor. Additionally, the mentors that I have and the family support that I had, that was phenomenal. During my entire time, my family was always there with me here in my SSB centers. They were right outside the gate. If I cleared it or not, that was a different story. But they never really criticized me on something. They were always there for me to support me. Additionally, the entire environment and the ecosystem that I had around myself was absolutely amazing. So because of that, that was the driving force that I had in myself.
I want everybody to just note this point, driving force, hell bent on, and I'll become the culprit at a later stage of discouraging him. So I'll just keep watching this for more. So, Bhomik, obviously, see, all our parents, everybody all well-wishers of ours, they want us to succeed. बट वो एक हमारे अंदर होता है कि भाई एक बार नहीं हुआ यार, अब उनकी आंखें देखते हैं, हम अपना देखते हैं, हमारे दिमाग में रहता है कि यार वो यार एक बार नहीं हुआ कैसे. स्टिल देयर मस्ट बी समथिंग दैट यू मस्ट बी टेलिंग योरसेल्फ कि ठीक है. सी एवरीबडी गिव्स अप फाइनली. इट्स अ गेम ऑफ फुटबॉल और एनी स्पोर्ट दैट वी प्ले. जब थक जाते हैं फाइनली तो एक बार छोड़ देते हैं, छोड़ यार ओपन नेट है तो भी हम नहीं मार पाते. There, but still we have to tell ourselves something. So what does that one particular statement, if you what you must be telling yourself and what would you like to share कि ये बोलो अपने आप को और काम पे चलो.
ये नहीं तो कुछ और सही. That was the classic thing that I had in myself. Gave my CUT examinations, failed terribly. Gave my JEE Mains examinations, my first attempt failed terribly. In my India examination, I also failed that terribly. So I was like, if not this, something else. If not this, something else. Just, keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying. The thing was that if I give up, then I would lose anyways, right? If I give up, there is no point of I'll lose that way or that way. At least give it a shot, and then I would have the guilt on myself.
You know,
That was that.
most of the time generally this statement is used कि एक girlfriend को propose, एक बंदी को propose किया नहीं हुआ तो चलो दूसरी दूसरी नहीं तो तीसरी, and you kept playing that way with the careers also कि चलो because finally you wanted to do something which you are passionate about, and not just at the for the sake of it that you wanted to do. So, there must have been some hurdles also while you were preparing for your JEE or SSB. Obviously, financially, तो हम सभी का मतलब we all have limited resources, but there must be other kind of hurdles also. So, could you just name a few and how did you overcome those hurdles?
The one of the most major hurdles that I had was during my SSB training was that I speak a bit too fast. I feel like I'm still speaking.
अभी भी तेरे से ही है.
I feel like I'm still speaking a bit too fast. That was one of the major issues. Over excitement and over engagement in the group. That was also one of the major issues. There's a few issues that I had. For that to cope up with those and to have a proper guidance around it, I took a lot of SSB coachings. They're only that I met Ankur sir. The most, how do I say, the most unique and the most standout GT professor that I ever found on my training was you only, sir. That was absolutely amazing. How do I say? The most witty as well as the funniest person that I met during my entire SSB training. It never really felt like, oh, I'm training with a retired colonel. It was always like, oh, someone who was passionate about teaching only. It was always like that. So that was my entire process.
But chalo, good. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you felt it that way, because that is what the teaching is all about. लगे ना सामने वाले को दर्द कितना हो, दर्द महसूस ना करा. दर्द तो हो ही रहा था, because I used to tell you all to write. So we will come back to the SSB training per se at a slightly later stage. Here, I just want to highlight that you said that overexcited, and I'll say कि कई बार ओवर कॉन्शियस भी हो जाते हैं. एंड बिकॉज दो चार बारी जब हमारा वो वी डोंट गेट थ्रू, देन वी रियलाइज कि अरे यार ये तो ना मतलब अब तो मैं दिखा के ही रहूंगा, अब तो मैं दिखा के ही रहूंगा. So at that particular juncture, I'll be just sharing with our audiences that don't get overexcited or over cautious or overburdened कि यार इस बार तो फोड़ के रहूंगा. This is not पहलवानी. This is your test of your skills. So skills में the more artistic you are, the more crafty you are, the more smartly you work is far more important than getting cautious and overworked about it. Bhomik, coming back to you, you said you took a lot of trainings from SSB, and I think the last training was that I gave. I think
Yes.
I was the one who probably put the nail in the coffin. Ki. So could you just take us through the journey of various trainings that you took, and what was the focus there, and probably which you must have introspected, because a person like you with such an intelligentsia, you must have really thought about it कि यार क्या हुआ होगा, कहाँ कमी रह गई होगी. And speaking fast is one part. Somebody must have told you or not told you. So could you just take us through those trainings जो आपने पहले की for your services selection board, and then when you joined Invincio or you came to us, तब आपको क्या महसूस हुआ? So could you just walk us through that?
Exactly. So, sir, during my first SSB attempt, I do a lot of coachings. The places from which I prepared for my written examination, they also gave us the free SSB coachings. And I probably believe that was the worst SSB coaching that I ever took, because they were all like, they were giving us bookish answers and everything, so that we are
मतलब
always like preparing like a.
sorry interrupting you. Free में कुछ नहीं लेना चाहिए कभी, हाँ.
So
Yeah, please.
they were giving us all written answers and everything, like just rote learn and everything. They were like trying to treat it like a written examination only. That was honestly a setback for myself. After that, I took a different coaching from that point onwards. That was honestly a better one. I had new students. The teachers were better. They were more engaged in it. But there was a very common pattern that I could see was they all were like, ये दिक्कत आती है तो ऐसे treat करो, ये दिक्कत आती है तो ऐसे treat करो.
ये mechanical.
Yeah, they were not really like you should just go ahead and think on your own. it was always like, if this is a problem, build like this. If this is a problem, build a cantilever here. So if you have something like this, build something like that. So it was always like, some sort of procedure that they were trying to give us a proper framework already done in there. They never really encouraged something like, no, this is fatta, this is bully, sit and think. Do something on your own. That was something that was not that was there in my first SSB attempt. That I feel like would be the one of the attempts. Additionally, during my psychology training that was there also, they were trying to give us, sentences for the words itself. ये sentence ये word आता है तो इसको sentence ही लिख देना. So that was some kind of thing that I felt like, oh, that is taking me back a lot. But that was how my first SSB went. Then I gave my second SSB. During that, I took different coachings from the different state itself. During that time, the one before coming to Invincio, I had to be in the different coaching. That was honestly better. The GTO ground that they had and the crowd that they had, the students that was there actually were better than all the other that I've been with. Those were the most sharpest people that I've trained with. That was a really amazing experience at that. Then towards the end only, I came to Invincio. There I found this coaching and
So, Bhomik, sorry, I just want to hold you here because it's not about Invincio or anybody else. So what I could understand from you is that first time it was like less of engagement, and second time it was more of mechanical. He this set piece. Third time it was again a mix of both, slightly better shade of again the same thing, and probably more of, like you said, rightly said, ki written examination की तरह ही train, because it's a test of a personality. Now there you said you met one of the sharpest minds. So probably this must be a very popular place where you must have gone, because then people must have gathered there, and they must have taken training there. So what do you feel at that? Two questions. One is, did all those sharpest minds got recommended? One. And two, if not, then what do you think? Why?
the most of them didn't got recommended, but yeah, obviously there were a lot of people in my batch that got recommended. I knew 6 people that got recommended during that time, so that was one. And
This was
the
a
reason
batch
that
of. This was a batch of
this was a batch of about 70 to 80 students. I am not really
80
76 to be
students
precise.
in one batch.
Yes, sir.
80, 80.
76, 76.
मतलब 70 students in one batch,
Yes, sir.
and out of that 6 got recommended.
Yes, sir.
So
I say,
so ये 70, I'm just trying to get my head around it. ये 70 बच्चे एक साथ ही ट्रेनिंग कर रहे थे एक ही जीटीओ ग्राउंड में, उनको जब वो टास्क वगैरह समझाए जा रहे थे वो सब एक साथ ही कर रहे थे सब कुछ.
no, sir. It was a 3 week course during the entire time, and it was like 70 people were allotted a single batch. In that, we were divided into sub batches
Sub
of.
batches, and then you must be going.
Yes.
Okay,
And then
understood.
what would
So
happen is after every 2 to 3 days, the
they must
batch
be
get
getting
shuffled
rotated.
again and again.
बट फिर अगर रोटेट हो रहा है तो फिर याद कैसे रहेगा कि भौमिक ने कितनी प्रैक्टिसेस की, बाकियों ने कितनी प्रैक्टिसेस की?
Everyone had to maintain the track record of his on his own. It was like हफ्ते
ऑन
के
हिज
end
ओन.
on his own. So the entire 2 weeks in a single week, we would change a batch twice. Every 3 days, we'll change a batch, and you have to prepare your own report. And on Sunday, that you could go and show it. Ki sir, this is my report. Please tell me how I have to do. So if assume I am lazy or I didn't write my report on my own, I would just skip the personalized process. It was never
मतलब
really.
अगर मैं मेरे जैसा कोई हो जो फज करके चला जाए तो
So the entire accountability goes on the student itself.
okay, so I'll just put it in third sense. You said कि accountability is the ownership of probably what we call it. Okay. Now then you decided. Then again अब दो तीन इतना हो गया, खिचड़ी पक गई, सब कुछ हो गया. फिर then why did you decide again कि चल यार एक और ट्राई मारते हैं, अभी इन्विंसियो के साथ ट्राई करते हैं अभी ये. How did you stumble upon this?
Till this time, I had about a month of so time left remaining. Until point, I was not satisfied with my practice. I was like, I need something is still missing. Something is still missing. So I just went on the internet and I, started searching something like, that stands apart. Since the general trend was you stay there for 2 weeks, we have the best trainer, this, all the agendas and everything. I wanted something, something that stands out. So there only I stumbled upon an Instagram page. So from there onwards, I was like, oh, you caught my eye. So from that, I was like, let's dig deeper, dig deeper, dig deeper. So then I found a lot of videos of you on YouTube as well as on the Instagram. That really caught my eye. So I was like, let's give it a shot. Then I came to here. Then there only I found you. And here we are.
इतनी मेहनत तो शायद गर्लफ्रेंड ढूंढने के लिए भी ना करता कोई. थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग अस अ शॉट. बट देन आई थिंक गिविंग मी अ शॉट एक्चुअली डेट्रीमेंटल हो गया ना. मैंने तो उल्टा कहानी. सो जस्ट नरेट दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्ट ऑफ योर journey starts. And if you remember those phrases, because I remember कई बार ना तो बार बार सुना बोलता था उनको. So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So during my entire training that I was with you, I was there with you for 2 weeks. So I after my first entire week, I had a personalization with you, and the classic quote that I still use till date is "Sarkata Murga."
सर कटा मुर्गा.
भौमिक तो सरकटे मुर्गे की तरह यहाँ से वहां दौड़ता रहता है.
That's जस्ट फॉर आवर व्यूअर्स. सरकटा मुर्गा इज कि आप किसी सिचुएशन में कूद जाइए और आपको पता नहीं कि क्या करना है, क्योंकि किसी ने आपको बताया है. और इससे जुड़ी हुई एक और फ्रेज है, नकल के लिए अकल चाहिए. तो बिना अकल के अगर आप नकल करके कुछ कि ये करोगे तो ऐसा करोगे, ऐसा होगा तो वैसा होगा, अगर वो करने की कोशिश करो तो यू आर नथिंग लेस बट ना सरकटा मुर्गा. एंड इसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है, इफ यू रिमेम्बर भौमिक की, when you go to a butcher और आप अगर लाइव चिकन खरीदते हो तो बोलते हैं उसको काट के दे दो भैया, तो वो जो काट के ना उसको ड्रम में फेंकता है तो वो मुर्गा फड़फड़ाता रहता है. तो देन वी बिकम समथिंग लाइक दैट, कि हमें पता नहीं कि कहाँ जाना है, क्या करना है, और हम ऐसे ऐसे ना भागते रहेंगे इधर उधर ऐसे करके. सो दैट इज द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ सर्कुटा मुर्गा दैट भौमिक इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. या प्लीज गो अहेड. देन व्हाट
Yes.
हैपेंड?
So during my first week after the first personalization that I had with you, it was honestly hurtful. Such harsh words that I heard. I was kind of taken back during that entire session, but I took it as a critique. And started to was like, now I got to prove myself to sir. Then
Bhomik, can I just halt you here for a second, please? For our viewers, see, Bhomik said that 2 हफ्ते की ट्रेनिंग थी और 1 हफ्ते के बाद वो सेशन हुआ था. I think we had an interaction
yes,
in the middle. So this is something which we follow very ardently कि that is the kind of ownership that our instructors and we take कि बीच में पहले अगर कोई गलत जा रहा है, एब्रेसिवली गलत जा रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा गलत जा रहा है या जा रही है, तो उसको समझाओ कि आप इसको ठीक कर सकते हो, so that the person gets an opportunity in the next week of correcting themselves. Yeah, please go ahead.
exactly. So sir, from that point onwards, I was given 7 to 8 points. I was asked to bring my notebook and pen, to make notes of this, so I just don't miss it.
ऐसे बोल रहे हो, मैंने नोटबुक मंगा ली कि मतलब कितना बड़ा खून कर दिया.
That I'm telling you, sir, I was taken back.
क्योंकि
So
तब तक किसी
after
ने बोला नहीं होगा ना आपको करने के लिए.
So then I bring those on notebook, and those were the 7 8 points that I was given. Like, just focus on these rest part that you are doing up pretty good. Just focus on these critical points. Then I started working on that. Then I trained there for another week. I had a lot of improvements. I could see physical improvements in my GTO, more specifically my group discussions. From my group discussions of me having a sore throat and my colleagues almost hating me, to people going like, "Oh, Bhome, you speak sense now. Now
Wow.
you have some value in the group." So
Wow.
these were the physical things that I could see in just 2 weeks that I was with you. So that was absolutely amazing. Then after that, then I had another personal session with you towards the end of it as a proper closing off.
Debriefing part
Yeah,
of it. Yeah.
exactly. And there I was given the line that I only heard once. Never again, never before. It was, Bhomik, SSB is really good, but you should try something else too. And I was like, I'm hell bent on trying SSB only. Then you went like, Bhowmik, SSB is really good for you. You should try it, obviously. But then you go like, there are something better things, something that you are better suited for. You should give them a shot too. Because chances of failure in SSB are also really high. Don't take it as a step back and just go ahead and keep your options open. That approach that you taught me had actually really helped me, not just in my SSB, as well as in my entire life also, sir. I don't have like long enough to life to say, but there are some decisions that I had to make, and that approach that you gave me that day helped me a lot. Like, I'm still grateful to you. I'm genuinely thankful, sir.
Oh, my privilege, Bhomik. So just for the benefit, Bhomik or anybody for that matter, every personality, we have different pluses, minuses. There are certain things which are through the roof positive, and there are certain things which are averaging, and we all are a mixture of that. Mixture of that. Even I have got certain drawbacks in me as well. Now, what happens is either you start working on those drawbacks, but what happens is when you are at a critical juncture in your careers or in your life, like 12th standard is again a very just out of 12th, and खुद को भी एक self definition करनी पड़ती है हमें. We have to define ourselves, redefine ourselves, and that was the time that when I learned that Bhowmik had not taken any other option. He was trying half-heartedly. SSB was your P1 that you had kept priority one कि भाई यही करना है. So that is the time that I advised him कि open up your options, because the services selection board, no matter how hard you train, whatever you do, there are a lot of intangibles also involved. हम इन intangibles को कैसे तोड़ते हैं? प्रैक्टिस करा करा के जैसे आपकी तबीयत खराब हो सकती है, घर में कोई परेशानी हो सकती है, ग्रुप उल्टा सीधा हो सकता है, मतलब यू डोंट नो वहां पे आपको क्या मिलेगा, सो मेनी इनटैंजिबल्स जो काम करते हैं। सो दैट वाज द एडवाइस दैट आई गिव हिम। आई डिडंट डिस्करेज हिम कि मत करना जिंदगी में, आई एम श्योर कि ये आईआईटी से निकलने के बाद करेगा। सो दैट हर्ट विच यू फेल्ट, विच आई कैन फील थ्रू योर वर्ड्स टुडे ऑल्सो, आई कैन सी अ सेंस ऑफ ग्रेटिट्यूड, बट आई कैन ऑल्सो सी कि आज भी तेरे अंदर एक वो आग है कि नहीं मुझे ये तो करना है फॉर वट एवर रीजन, की भाई करके रहूंगा, ऐसा क्या चीज है। सो भौमिक, व्हाट हैपेंड आफ्टर दैट? सो आई गिव यू, एंड बी ऑनेस्ट नाउ, हाँ, बाहर निकल के तुमने क्या किया, सबसे पहली लाइन क्या बोली है बताना।
I'm not allowed to curse now, but I was like, अरे भाई ये क्या सुना दिया सर ने. Then honestly speaking, I was too ashamed to tell it to anyone that I was so told. I have better things to do. That I'm well suited for something else than this, so I didn't really told it to anyone. It was always to my heart. This is the first time I'm opening up about this. So
मेक्स
that was the entire thing. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I should at least fill the forms of other examinations before I even really try this. Then I gave all of the other examinations and everything during my. I filled the examinations for that. Then I again focused on my SSB only. Gave my SSB. It was right around the corner. I claimed that, came out, and then I was a bit taken back. It took me about 2 weeks to absorb that in, sink that in.